Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Monetizing Mobile webinar. I'm Bob Kernen, the COO of jacapps. We'd like to thank our co-presenters at All Access for their support. For those of you who don't know jacapps, here's a little bit about us. We've been in business 7 years. We've produced over 1,000 apps that have been downloaded over 25 million times. Our sister company, jacapps Media, is a recognized leader in the radio consulting and research space. Our annual tech surveys provide relevant research on the intersection of consumers and technology every year. Tech Survey 12 will be coming out this April. Our annual Dash conference brings together leaders from the radio industry and the automotive industry to talk about the connected car. And our founders, Paul and Fred Jacobs, saw both the mobile revolution and the connected car coming very early on. Myself, I've been in digital media for 20 years, working for major brands like A&E Television, the History Channel, and Martha Stewart. If you have questions, please type them into the interface on the webinar, and we will try to answer some at the end. Let's get started. I think this statement is unequivocally true. You can see here the numbers have gone up every year by leaps and bounds, and currently about 80% of American adults have a smartphone. And this platform is becoming a huge entertainment platform as well. In this webinar, we're going to talk about 5 key principles for monetizing your mobile applications and your mobile strategy. We'll go through each one of these individually. And then at the end, we're going to talk about some of the emerging trends that we're seeing and some of the really powerful things that are on the horizon. So with all of these smartphones out there and so much time being spent on them, it's not surprising, and not surprisingly, most of all among younger demographics. But so far, the money just isn't there. And this is a familiar pattern. We have seen this before. During Web 1.0, it took years for the dollars to move from print and other traditional media into display. That trend is happening a lot faster now, but it still hasn't fully taken off yet. But one of the things that's really driving it is the ability to deliver rich media, audio and video, much more quickly than it did online. And what we saw with Digital 1.0 is that once the tide turns, it is unstoppable. As you can see here, most traditional media is actually in a situation of negative growth. Both newspapers and TV are no longer growing as a share of the advertising pie. But you can see digital platforms like video and social are growing rapidly, but they still aren't growing nearly as fast as what you see with mobile. And those mobile dollars are moving to local, which is an amazing opportunity for radio. As you can see on this chart here, this year more than half of that growing mobile pie will be location targeted, and that trend looks to continue. So your station's local focus really matters. Let's get to those principles now for making money on your mobile strategy. It's really important to understand that not all ads are the same. You wouldn't run an old newspaper ad on your website, so don't necessarily run a web ad on your mobile app. The other thing that we've learned is that mobile banners just don't work. They're too small, they create a lot of clutter, and for audio-focused apps, most usage happens while the screen of the device is actually dark. A recent study by a company called Retail revealed that 60% of clicks on mobile banners are mistakes. So the idea here is to focus on what mobile does best. And that's things like whole app sponsorships, audio and video, location targeting, and interactivity. The second principle is to embrace what makes you different. The mobile ad product is different than any other advertising. So accept that and embrace it. And 3 of the things you're going to hear from me over and over again during this webinar are be local, be targeted, and be interactive. Those are just critical elements for success in this space. So let's look at a couple of different advertising scenarios. The first one here is a car dealer who wants to get better ad targeting. His problem is that with multiple dealers in his area, broadcast advertising ends up leaving him with a lot of overspray. consumers hearing his ad, but actually going to a different dealership to conduct their transaction. So the solution to this is geofence ads on mobile. This delivers better targeting, and this is really what Pandora has done, and it's become a very successful model. And now through your own mobile app, you can do this as well. A second thing that we see in the space is that car dealers really want leads, and digital pure plays like cars.com offer geo-targeted leads, whereas radio can only give them reach. So the solution here is to really focus on that data collection and make that advertising in your app take that user directly to a place where they can input their data and submit that data to the dealership. That way, not only are you delivering their message and their branding, but you're actually delivering them leads as well. Let's look at a third scenario. In this case, a hospital marketer. They've got an app, but the problem is they have a very hard time getting people to download and use their app. And you'll find that a lot of your clients already have their own apps, but those clients have a hard time marketing those apps. Yours gets a lot more usage and a lot more time spent, so you should leverage that. You can drive your users directly to the client's app from yours to either open it if they've already downloaded or to download it with just a single tap. All three of these scenarios have another advantage, and that is that the engagement is measurable. Our third principle is about attribution. Advertisers expect to understand now where their leads, where their customers are coming from, and digital gives that to them. So I'm sure you've all had the experience of an advertiser really questioning the effectiveness. How do I know that my message is leading to sales? Well, mobile can help you close that loop because it enables your listeners to take your brand right to the point of purchase. So you can use things like mobile coupons, or even what I call a poor man's mobile coupon, which is just to have the listener show your app on their phone to the merchant to get the discount. These kind of campaigns show your client concrete proof that your audience is in their store and that your brand matters. And it really gives them some solid deliverables in the form of coupon redemptions and actual leads. Because the goal of all this is to do something that radio's always done really well, and then combine it with these new mobile capabilities. And what we call this is awareness to action. And that's our principle number 4. My mantra of be local, be targeted, and be interactive really all boils down to this. And this is one of the most important takeaways from this webinar. Radio drives awareness better than any medium. It is frequently the last touch point that a marketer has before the user makes the purchase, and that's because of radio's presence in the car. But mobile really enables direct interaction. The key to a successful campaign in this new digital environment is to get these strengths working together. The client's on-air spot should drive the consumer to the app in order to take a specific action. For example, a car dealer's spot on your air should drive to your mobile app where that user can quickly tap through to fill out a lead form. Or as we showed before, a hospital's spot drives to the station mobile app where one click downloads that hospital's app. So you really want to combine all these elements and combine these strengths. In fact, you really should be combining all your tools. And that brings us to principle number 5. Selling media isn't enough anymore. Your clients want marketing solutions that combine and coordinate various elements in service of a concrete, definable, measurable goal. You can't just have the elements, you have to have the strategy that makes them all work together. And what these packages really gives you is new inventory to sell. You don't have to stress your on-air spot load, which I'm sure is already tight, to grow your revenue and to make that revenue pie bigger. And the way you're going to grow that pie is by accessing those digital budgets. Up to now, you may have had limited access to those, but if you can throw a mobile app and other digital elements into your campaign, you can get those clients to spend. So great, you have a terrific package, but we all know what your client is going to say next. Well, we have some exciting ideas about things that really are new so that you can go to those clients with something extra. The first thing we have are Zapp's voice response ads. These are some really amazing ads that are audio pre-rolls that have a call to action in them that the user can respond to using just their voice. And what's great about this is users don't watch audio, obviously, so much of the advertising that digital is dependent on doesn't really work for you. Also, there's concrete ROI on these ads. If the call to action is to connect a phone call or send a coupon or enter a contest, that advertiser can see hard numbers as to how many people took that action. And in our recent pilot program, we've seen these numbers to be really, really impressive. North of 5% engagement rates on these ads, which is really, really exciting. The Zapp platform is actually a part of our V4 platform. So if you have one of our apps, we can very easily make it Zapp enabled. And to learn more about this, we're going to be doing a webinar in March with Zapp Media to really give you some details on how that product can work for you. And if you can't wait that long, you can give us a call and we can tell you more about how to make Zapp ads work for your station. And last but not least, your clients are looking for mobile solutions, and most don't know where to begin. Well, I say let them begin with you. Mobile apps can be something new in your digital toolkit, a new element that you can add to your sales packages, just as you've probably done with selling social media ads or even SEO. And we invite you to work with us on that. Let us be the behind-the-scenes partner who can fulfill for you in the mobile space. Some of the key categories that we think are really promising include automotive, healthcare, legal, and retail. So we think this is a huge opportunity, and we invite you to reach out to us to talk specifically about how some of these ideas can work for your station. If you're one of our clients, we can help you make your app easier to monetize. And if you're not a client, we'd be happy to talk to you about how jacapps can be part of your mobile strategy. Look for more of these webinars in the future, as we are committed to helping you realize the promise of mobile to grow your business. Thanks for coming out today. Again, we'd like to thank All Access for their support, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.